This is chapters 116 to 120 of 14 Ways to Die. 116. Are you the girl on the phone? I ask. When Clara doesn't answer, I say, I think you are. I think you know something about the magpie man. She shivers and starts moving, fiddling with her keys as she does so. I chase after her, touch her shoulder, and say, please. Clara spins around. I don't know what you're talking about, she says, then opens the gate, runs up the path, and stabs her key at the door. Excuse me. She's panicking, giving me just enough time to say, I need your help. She turns around again, shakes her head, and says, I'm sorry, then opens the door and slams it shut before I can respond. But I haven't come all this way for nothing. I look back at Jamie, who's a few houses down, then walk through the gate and up the path and ring the doorbell. Clara doesn't answer. I'm certain this is the girl I've been looking for, so why won't she talk to me? I need to know what she knows, so I go around the side where a gate opens with a latch. I'm trespassing now. I'm not solving a crime, I'm committing one. But I head toward the backyard, then turn and look through the patio doors directly into Clara's kitchen. It's empty and I look closer, staring deep into the house. That's when I see her walking straight toward me, and when she slides the door open, I try my best to smile, to make her know I'm here to help. But she has a phone in her hand and already dialing a number. She says, I'm calling the police, go away. I need to know, did you message me? Did we speak on the phone? Please. Maybe she was messing with me just like everyone else. Maybe she was trolling me in her own unique way, not thinking I would actually come looking. But when I see a tear creep down her cheek, I know it's more than that. Just go, she says, closing the door and locking it, pulling the curtains closed so I can't see inside. I walk back around the house and down the sidewalk and away. So, Jamie says, she knows something, but she's too afraid to say what it is. 117. Harmony has messed with my mind. I daydream so long about my mother that it feels like I've lost her all over again, while Clara's refusal to help means my sadness is mixed with anger. I feel ready to explode, and I don't know what will be left when I do. I read the text Mom sent Dad over and over again, desperately trying to remember her voice. But I barely remember anything, only fragments of moments that dance across my memory, untrustworthy and chipped away by time. How has just been today? I'll tell her I'll be home soon. Was I ill that day? Did something important happen? I feel a bolt of pain whenever I imagine her writing my name, thinking of me, reassuring me she'll come home. I need more of her, because I've used up what we have. Eventually, every picture loses its magic. Every message is only words on a screen. They aren't her, they're just things. In the corner of the attic, untouched, is the box Dad asked me to ignore. I always imagined it was full of memories that could break our hearts all over again, so I did what I was told, but not today. When I open it, I see an ultrasound scan, a black and white smudge that must be me. Underneath is a journal of my first year, and beneath that are notes in my father's handwriting. Some are crossed out and rewritten, and I realize these are drafts of messages he wrote to my mother. Tucked to the side is a digital camera that won't turn on. God knows how long it's been here, or how many devices we own that haven't been charged since she died. I take out the memory card and go back to my room, then bring my laptop to the attic where the musty smell and twinkling lights calm me in a way I can't describe. These are photos I've never seen before, not familiar pictures from the albums Nan likes to reminisce over, but candid shots, mostly of me, some of Dad, and those few magical moments of Mom. Brand new images that make my heart soar. I grow up 7 years in 100 clicks of a mouse, and then the images change. They are smudged and unclear, as if someone has focused too closely on something. There are 4 of them, each less blurry than the last, but still a mystery, and then the final image of someone holding a camera in front of their face, photographing whoever took this shot. I look at the date stamp. It was taken the day Mom was killed. 118. The more I stare at the pictures, the blurrier they become. Even the image of the person with the camera is unclear, like someone was moving as they took it, smearing the man's edges. It is a man, I can see that much, but that's all. It's too close to tell where he is or what he's doing, only that he's returning the favor. 2 people each taking a photo of the other. But why? I leave the attic and hold the laptop in front of my dad. Did you take these? He stares at them, then says, No, what are they? I found them on an old camera. I think Mom took them. Dad's eyes go wide, and I wonder if I've said too much or if he realizes what box they came from. It's been a long time since my father got his hopes up, and I don't want to break his heart all over again with evidence that turns out to be useless. Do you recognize them? I ask. I'm sorry, Jess. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at, but he looks away, staring into the mess of colors. But he looks anyway, staring into the mess of colors, because he's as desperate for this to be over as I am. If it was Mom's camera, if she took these the day she died, it could be vital. It's okay, I say. Back in my room, I stare at the blurred images, all reds and yellows and greens. They could be anything. I click through from the grainiest to the clearest, over and over again, trying to figure out what it is I'm looking at. And then I focus on the image of someone I can't identify, who is covering his face with a Polaroid camera. Could it be him? Could this be a picture of the Magpie Man? We now know he took pictures of the women he murdered. He collected his kills, but is there more? I try to slow my breathing, pushing my fingers against my temples to calm the headache that has come hard and fast. I could call the police, but what would I tell them? I don't even know what four of the photos are, and I can't risk Lorraine taking them and putting them with everything else they never found a use for. I could call him out. I could show the world these images and hope it's enough, but you can't see his features. All you can see are blurred lines and a hidden face, just hands and a camera. 1:19. Again, like every week now, I'm awake hours before Danny arrives. The more I don't tell him, the angrier he'll be when he finally finds out. I'm supposed to film every defining moment, but there was no way I was going to stick a camera in Clara's face. Whatever she knows, she won't tell me, let alone the whole world. When I get to school, Mrs. Bradley is at the entrance ready to do the late list, and she gives me a look but doesn't say anything. If she thinks my Nan lied for me, she keeps quiet, although she's obviously suspicious. I smile at her and walk past without stopping. You can tell Emily wants to talk about Mr. Humphreys again, but one look at Danny and she realizes she has to keep her mouth shut. I feel like I've spent the last few weeks trying to untangle lies from truth, games from reality. All I know for certain is that he watched me that night I dyed my hair. He placed the Polaroid, and he killed Lorna Banks. I should be focusing on that. Clara knows something, and I need to keep pushing until she tells me. I have to be the one who decides if it's important, not her. He may have only just killed, but I don't think we have another 9 months before he strikes again. He was 2 months early this time, and I have a terrible feeling his pattern has changed forever. I daydream all the way to English, telling myself over and over again that it's working, and when I walk past Mr. Collins, I almost don't feel it, and yet it's there, the tiniest brush of his skin on mine, and when I look down, his hand shoots behind his back, a flash of something black and white pulled away from my open bag. I stare at him, and I can see the fear on his face. Danny almost crashes into me, and behind him there are groans and shouts, the hallway quickly filling with people trying to get in and others wanting to get past. I look over the camera directly into Danny's eyes and ask, "Did you get that?" He shrugs and mouths, "Get what?" And when I look back at Mr. Collins, I see sweat forming on his temples, while ripples of panic cover his face. I slowly breathe out, find my voice, and whisper, "It's you." 1:20. All along the hallway, people are yelling, desperate to get past, and I'm so close to him. I reach behind his back and try to grab the article. I hear it crunch in his fist as the force of everyone pushes me into the classroom. Then he steps in after me, the others following, while the oldest students shout as they walk down the hill. Danny stares at me, and I wonder how the hell he didn't get that on camera. But he was focusing on me, and I curse myself for not keeping the head cam face up in my bag. I'm standing in the middle of the classroom, and Mr. Collins doesn't ask me to sit. He just stares at me. As I glare back, I see the lines on his face rearrange themselves, and I can't tell if he's scared or amused or angry. My heart is pounding, and I wonder how I didn't see this before. The first article fell out of my bag in English class seconds after I walked past him in the doorway. The second was in my suitcase at Mayfield Lodge, but he was there before we left. He gave us homework while we waited by the bus, our bags left unguarded on the ground. I look at the camera, wondering what my viewers think is going on, then close my eyes and breathe, trying to figure out what to do. Has he been this close all along? Is he the Magpie Man or just another Michael? "Please sit down, Jessica," Mr. Collins says at last, but his voice sounds different. He's too calm, too quiet. He knows he's been caught and he isn't running, but that doesn't mean I won't. Come on, I say to Danny, and he follows me out of the classroom while Mr. Collins watches in silence. What's going on? Danny asks. I stare into the camera. It's him. I'm not telling my director, I'm telling everyone. He tried to put another article in my bag, and I don't know what that means, but it means something. I don't have long. Jess? Danny asks. Danny says. It feels like a question I can't answer, a word that's suddenly too heavy to fit in my head. It's him, I say again, the panic rising to my chest, and Danny lowers the camera so it's facing the floor. Don't, I whisper, because I need him to film this. It could be my only chance. He lifts the camera and looks into the blinking red light, count down from 5 in my head, then say, action.